All right, we are right here leading the way in the new era with intelligent data services. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you without any ado. Please allow me to welcome Pradeep Seshadri, the Director Sales Engineering from Comvault India and SAC. Pradeep, it's over to you right there.
Hello everyone, I am Pradeep Seshadri and I lead the sales engineering team at Comvault India. At the outset, I would like to thank you for giving me time today and your attention. Over the next few minutes, I would like to talk about the new normal in data management, the associated risks, and how Comvault can help not just in mitigating these risks, but also become a value-adding partner in your data management journey, thus keeping you future ready. So let's quickly delve into the presentation for the day. So we understand that you live in multiple worlds. When I say multiple worlds, what it essentially means is that your infrastructure, your application infrastructure, data infrastructure is spread across multiple different infrastructure platforms today. Some could be in premises, some could be in the cloud, and today is an era of multiple clouds. And many of you could be using the as a service options given by the cloud providers, like be database as a service, messaging as a service, and so on and so forth. So we do understand that, right? And you could be using any of these or a combination of these today in your day-to-day IT. What we also realize is this can change over time. This is not static. When I say that, what does it mean? So today you could be running a particular workload in a certain infrastructure, let's say in premise, and that could move into a cloud very quickly for a given amount of time, and then again come back to where it was. So that is a kind of dynamism and dynamics that we see in IT today. And businesses and IT have to be ready to accommodate these requests coming from different business users, business groups from within the company. And this is the new normal in some sense, right? So just take a look at this slide here. So basically, we see all sorts of different applications being run. And you could see that adjustments happening over time from where they need to be run. And maybe, it's a choice of the right infrastructure at the right time at the right place. So we do understand this. When this happens, what we also notice is that there is something called a data sprawl that gets generated. So a data sprawl happens, which essentially means that data is everywhere now. Whichever infrastructure you're using, there is a footprint of data left or retained over there over a period of time. So, and this is unavoidable, right? As much as you would not like to have a sprawl, but this is the truth of the day, because it is the very fact that you're using multiple systems today across different infrastructure creates this data sprawl. Now, when this data sprawl happens, there are some side effects to that, some not really good ones, which is one of them is called dark data. What is dark data? Dark data gets created over time, and this is data that is not visible to the enterprise, to the users of IT, and to the admins of IT, but it exists in the environment because it's gotten created over time, and somewhere it has it has been left unnoticed. Dark data creates a few problems, right? One is it takes up expensive resources, like could be storage resources. It could be in premise or on the cloud. It also, because it's not visible and thus the company is not in control of the data, it could be a vulnerable point where some of these ransomware or any sort of malware attacks can happen. Any unintended intruder can get in through these kind of weak points and then create a damage. Now, we all know over the last 1 year, there have been a drastic increase in ransomware attacks. It is only set to grow. It has grown, the kind of growth is phenomenal. And it has set, it has set alarms everywhere. It has set alarms going everywhere. So I think this is one of the things that one needs to be aware of, and dark data needs to be handled immediately so that it does not open up as an avenue for attacks. Now, let us look at some of the risks that this data sprawl introduces into the business. Okay, what sort of risks do we see to business? First is data fragmentation failure points, right? So because you have so many infrastructures, you have so many different silos of the underlying hardware, software, or whatever you would call it. Now, also, there are so many points to take care of because data itself gets fragmented because there are so many systems it resides on. And these are necessarily not a unified set of systems where you get a single view or a single repository where all data is stored. When it comes to backup, it becomes more complicated because there are multiple systems now required to take a backup if a single tool cannot handle that. And because there are multiple silos, not everything may be well protected or well guarded from external attacks. So it becomes a kind of invitation to an attacker, and it becomes vulnerable for these attacks because larger the surface, higher the chance of attacks. Needless to say, a lot of the industries that we have today are regulated. It could be healthcare, it could be banking. There are a lot of regulations. Of course, there are self-governance policies as well. But what this essentially means is that while the data is spread, there is a data, the infrastructure now has become flexible and is everywhere. Data is everywhere, and you get to use the power of cloud and so on and so forth. The need for meeting compliance never goes away, because this is set by the regulating agencies, and no matter where the data is, no matter what you're operating, compliance is not negotiable. It is key, and that gets into risk if you have a data sprawl. Now, while we spoke about things that are required to just maintain status quo and normalcy, the company also, I'm sure every enterprise has a plan to grow. There are ambitious growth plans, and the systems and IT in general has to be aligned with these growth plans and bring in newer technologies, adopt newer technologies to make sure those growth plans are met. Because today, everything, the success of an enterprise, a lot depends on data and, of course, the underlying infrastructure and IT and how it is run. So it becomes very important to scale with those demands, modern demands. Last but not the least, today is an era of digital transformation. Digital transformation has automation at its core. A lot of things that you can automate, is time saved for the company, for people, so that they can put it into better use in terms of innovation. Now, all these risks put together create something what we call at Commvault a business integrity gap. A business integrity gap, and simply put, is the difference of where the data environment is today with all the set challenges that I spoke about so far, and where it should be, where the data management practice should be to be aiding or fostering growth that the company has in the plan. So the company has ambitious plans for growth, and the IT also has to follow suit and align with that. The difference between that and where it is today is what exactly is defined by the business integrity gap. And why does this happen? Because if you see in the bottom of the screen, there are so many different systems being used, multiple data silos, like I said earlier, which lead to this kind of gap. And it is today imperative that every enterprise takes action to close this gap or minimize this gap. Let's look at how it can be achieved. First and foremost, we need an intelligent data services platform to be able to do that. And what can the intelligent data services platform do? How can it help? Let us just see in a minute. First come first, to avoid the silos that we spoke about earlier, fragmentation that we touched upon, you need a centralized data management and protection strategy so that all of your organization's data is being managed and protected in a single central location, because that gives you control and insights. And that's exactly what you want with data. You want insights and control into your data. Of course, data security, when you deploy a platform data management, it better be secure, because today security is a given. It is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is mandatory. And more secure the platform, the better. So you need to have a secure platform, because all your enterprise data is sitting on this platform and you are managing it out of it. Meeting your compliance requirements, depending on which industry you are, is the next key that an intelligent data services platform should deliver. The platform that you choose should also understand that there are bigger goals in the enterprise, like data transformation. So a platform that understands your transformation plans and can help you execute the transformation well, seamlessly, in a simple manner, is exactly the what is required for the day. Last but not the least, getting data insights. It's all about data, and we have heard this enough times. Data is the new oil. I would say that if your platform can give you the insights into data all through its life cycle, I think you would have done a great job of data management. So pick a platform which does all this for you. And this is exactly where, as Commvault, we come in to help you not just mitigate or close on that business integrity gap, but also help you move forward with all of these kind of features that an intelligent platform should deliver, which is exactly what Commvault helps you with. How do we do this? We not only we have a core robust platform that we have built over time. It is 25 years now we have been in the industry and leading in our space. We also work with ecosystem vendors because we know your world basically has a lot of different vendors, software, hardware that you are working with. So we make it a point to work with them, integrate and deeply integrate so that you can get a well knit solution for managing your data. And just an expansion on what I just said is what best when you can get a single unified experience, right? A unified platform, a Commvault is a unified platform, a single platform which has multiple capabilities. It could be backup, archival, disaster recovery. It could be in-premise or in the cloud or as a service. You choose what you want to do, and we are with you in the data management journey. So in a single, practically a single GUI that can share a lot of resources underneath. So resource sharing becomes quite simple, as well as open standards. You can choose to use the underlying infrastructure. We don't mandate anything. So you can choose to use what you want, and we will work with your choices. Flexible delivery models. You want just the software, go for it. You wanted a packaged appliance coming from Commvault, absolutely the same services can be given in an appliance. Or you want to go with one of our managed service provider partners across the country, yes, absolutely. We could deliver the services, exact same services through them. Or if you want to pick up Commvault's own service, software as a service, backup as a service, we could do that as well. So if you choose what you want, it would be mix and match as well. Something you want to manage yourself versus the service provider versus Commvault's offering. Like I said earlier, we have the broadest coverage in the industry. Could it be a primary storage, any workloads you're talking about, and secondary storage? You can, the broadest, I think multiple vendors supported and certified by Commvault so that you have that flexibility to use any of these and still get the same experience from Commvault. From a platform perspective, how do we enable that? Very simple. These are self-explanatory modules within this one product. So like I said, the product is one. There are multiple modules within the product which get enabled by licensing. But otherwise, the user experience, the tools, the tool is one. So every time it's the same skill that everybody needs to learn. They're not different skills to be learned. So unification of skills across people. And then you pick and choose what you want to do today. Right? It could be a modular expansion. Today, you probably just want to do backup and recovery and disaster recovery, go for it. At a later point in time, you want to do sensitive data governance because you are subject to GDPR or some such regulation. E-discovery compliance, if you are maybe in the pharma or banking industry, you want to deploy that, absolutely. File storage optimization, I want to touch upon this because today a lot of companies grapple with a lot of files in the environment and they don't know what to do with it. Neither can they discard it because they don't have enough intelligence to take a call like that, or they don't have a way to find out what is important. So file storage optimization today scans all the file resources in your enterprise and tells you and gives you a beautiful slice and dice view of which are the files which are orphan, which are stale, which are active, and which can be archived, and how much of space can be saved. So that's what FSO does to you. Definitely, a lot of our customers are taking this up and trying to save costs on storage. And of course, if you look at it, Hyperscale X is our latest offering in terms of holding backup copies. It's a highly available infrastructure based on erasure coding and hyper-converged infrastructure built by Commvault itself. And it becomes that single point, one unified backup target, which gives you high availability so that you don't have to, there's no question of backups or restores failing or going down at any time. Last but not the least, Metallic, our own offering, our own company, Metallic, we offer cloud storage as a service. So it's an extension, it's a replacement for tape devices, if you could say that. And this becomes an extended copy of your data from your on-premise, and you put it in a cloud managed completely by Commvault, right? So you don't have to go to the cloud vendor and buy anything. We just do it for you. And it's a single vendor approach for you, talking to Commvault for right from the data center to the cloud copies. Of course, we have a Metallic SaaS offering, backup as a service, which is going to be launched later this year in India, where you could choose Commvault to do all that for you. You can offload the complete backup management operation, could be DR, could be backup, could be archival, to Commvault, and we would offer you this service. But that's later in the year, this year. An endorsement from leading industry analyst Gartner. 9 straight years, Commvault has been in the leadership position in the Gartner Leaders Magic Quadrant and the Leaders Quadrant. The feather in the cap is we are leading in all the 3 prominent categories that Gartner has listed as important ones. Be it physical server environments, virtual environments, or public cloud, Commvault is the #1 choice of customers today. And the very reason is a strong, robust product, a flexible product, works anywhere with any sort of infrastructure, single set of skills, excellent support, world-class support, and definitely the experience that we bring over 25 years in data management. This is what has led us to be the leaders over the last 9 years. With that, I come to the end of my presentation. Happy to talk to you further. If you need to know more about Commvault, we're really happy to engage with you and tell you more and how we could help solve your data management challenges. And we look forward to that. With that, I would say stay safe, stay happy. Thank you for your time again today, and take care.
Pradeep, thank you for your take. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as you are extending those impressions, doing a little bit of virtual legwork across the platform, please keep exploring the features, increasing your leaderboard scores. As I quickly introduce you and lead you into the next and, in fact, the first panel discussion on the TechCon day. Well, as CEOs and business leaders try to outmaneuver, they need to also start unlocking the real true power of data. I'm sure we are in sync with this, right? So while they are ready to be future ready, by enabling alternative ways of working, collaborating, eyeing both short-term and long-term implications, this is something that we are gonna lay our focus on. These are going to be our touch points. Well, basis the backstage chat that our upcoming participants were having, they were just warming up for the discussion that you're going to behold. I am sure this will make for an interesting conversation. We'll get them onto the main stage right in a bit, so just stay tuned.